415-8088-10 if you have thoughts on anything that's happening here on KGO. Yes, we do it on Fridays. I love to talk to this guy. He's got such good takes on all things. He calls himself the culture blaster across social media. He writes his column for the Marina Times, and you can find him on Polk Street sometimes in the Royal Grounds. That used to be his old office before COVID. He comes into us on a rainbow. Magic. He's Michael Snyder, everyone.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Appreciate you, bro.
Well, no, Michael Snyder. Snyder. Thank you.
Hey.
There you go.
I'm here. What makes you think I wasn't going to be here? Guys, all this news from Florida, and I guess it looks like Mom was right. You let in all sorts of trouble if you leave the gates unlocked.
Oh, Gates, Matt Gates.
Nice.
I get it. Okay, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Took a drum beat, but yeah, that's awesome.
Look at you with the topical material. I love that.
I know. I'm really. I continue to be surprised about people that don't want to get their vaccines. I mean, it's getting so hard to discern whether an anti-masker, anti-vaxxer is a paranoid conspiracy freak, a simple-minded contrarian, or just a pure fool. I mean, what is up with these people?
Yeah, it is tough. It's tough. They're very they feel very strongly about it. That's the thing. They're really dogged.
I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Things gotta breathe.
Yeah, there's a good example of it. Yeah.
Well, I'm joking here.
You take your masks off. You take your mask off for your Culture Blaster segments with us, don't you, Michael?
I do. This is the unvarnished Michael Snyder. We've got some new movies I'd like to chat about, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir. Please proceed.
Great, yeah.
Okay. Despite its mundane title, Monday is an effective and occasionally sharply observed look at a love at first sight romance between a slacker DJ and an immigration lawyer in sun-kissed, party-loving Athens, Greece, after things get into a groove and real life starts to intrude. As a matter of fact, after watching pretty boy tough guy Sebastian Stan mixing it up as the Marvel superhero the Winter Soldier in the current TV series The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, continuing today, by the way, on Disney+, you can see him in a genuine change of pace as Mickey, the DJ here in Monday, opposite the fine and earthy Irish actress Denise Goff, who plays Chloe, who's a Midwestern lawyer on her way back to a big-time job in the States after a bad relationship ends. And, of course, when she encounters Mickey and sparks fly, her plans and their lives change. Much of this should ring true for anyone who ever found themselves suddenly swept along by the tides of love and sexual chemistry. Speaking of sex, there's some in Mondays and nudity, too, including a brief full frontal when you can actually see Sebastian Stan's Winter Soldier, so to speak. Anyway, is Monday destined to be a classic? I don't think so, but it's a pretty honest look at how passion can move us in unexpected directions for better or worse. Directed and co-written by the Greek filmmaker Argyros Papadimitropoulos. Well, let me get it.
No, I thought he was going to get it.
Yeah.
There we go. Papadimitropoulos.
Ooh, very good.
Michael, let me ask you, because I'm not a prude, but the nudity thing that you mentioned, I mean, is it integral to the plot or is it gratuitous?
It's fairly integral to what goes on. I don't want to spoil anything, but their scenes of intimacy are kind of important to show the passion, and the actual full frontal that I'm mentioning is also pretty integral to the plot because, you'd have to see it to really appreciate what I'm getting at. And you can see it. I think it's in theaters, and it's available on demand via Amazon Prime, Apple TV, Vudu, Fandango, Now, iTunes. Everybody's got this damn thing.
Oh, nice.
Okay, well,
That's Monday.
Okay, Monday.
All
Is it
right,
based
Monday.
on a true story?
Yeah, they're all based on true stories, Brett. Come on.
That is Brett's go-to. I love it. Never gets old.
Hey, this actually happened to me. Anyway, shall we move on? Let's move on.
What's next, Michael?
UK director and screenwriter Ben Wheatley is a favorite of mine, and he's the creative force behind some really cool offbeat genre films. that have come out in the past decade, including Kill List, Sightseers, which is a wonderful dark comedy, a High Rise, and especially Free Fire, which has a number of familiar faces, including, among others, the lovely Brie Larson. And that's kind of a takeoff on 70s shoot-'em-ups. But In the Earth is his latest, and he does it again on what for him is a typically lean budget, and also has echoes of the pandemic, informing what's being classified in some circles as a folk horror movie. So you might think that In the Earth is kind of like a more erudite Blair Witch Project, although it's not couched as a found footage film. During a viral plague that's wreaking havoc on the world, sound familiar? A scientist and a park ranger head into a massive wooded area in search of some equipment, and also to check on a colleague of the scientists who had ventured into the wild on an experimental trek some time back. So this rural area of Britain where they're traveling has been the subject of local mythology about powerful natural forces doing seemingly unnatural things. Or is it a supernatural entity with an agenda? Anyway, when the journey starts going, what some people might call cock-a-hoop, the horror kicks in. And here's where I warn you that some of it is quite grisly. Meanwhile, a significant theme of the movie, man versus nature, is a classic one that many of us can relate to as we try to cope with a certain viral threat. Within the Earth, that theme gets a very fresh and creepy treatment. This one is in theaters at the moment.
Wow. So you like Monday and you like In the Earth.
Yeah, I liked In the Earth a little better than Monday, but I thought they were both worth a look. Let's wrap up with Bad Trip, which is on Netflix. I wanted to catch up to this thing. I'm not a fan of your prank hidden camera TV shows like Jackass, but I was pretty much knocked out by Bad Trip, which is a remarkable mix of slapstick comedy narrative and actual pranks on real unsuspecting people using the hidden camera technique. And it seems seamless. I mean, I laughed, I cringed, and I was blown away by the audacity and the hilarity of Eric Andre, who's a familiar face from Comedy Central and various sitcoms, and Lil Rel Howley, who are best friends in this movie. And Eric Andre's character is in love with a gallery operator who's now in New York City. And these guys are in the South. And she's in New York City. They went to high school together. He had a crush, and he's desperate to reconnect with her. So they go on a road trip, and they're being chased by an outrageously funny and almost scary Tiffany Haddish as Howley's unhinged jailbird sister. So they're the three main characters in this road trip comedy. Again, it's on Netflix, and I thought it was pretty damn funny. Director Kitao Sakurai, and I guess written by him and Andre and Dan Curry. And, again, not my cup of tea, but I laughed.
Wow. How about that? I love that cast. I love Lil Rel. I could watch him in anything. And Tiffany Haddish is hilarious, too.
They're in fine form here, and, oh, my God, they pushed the envelope for sure.
So to review Monday, you like it. It's got some frontal nudity in it, which is making me uncomfortable. But all right, most people aren't as hung up as I am. And it's from a foreign director, Greek director. Is that what you said?
Yeah, and this is, I believe, his second.
You want to take another run at his name, or you want to leave it alone?
I'm happy to take another number. Argyros Papadimitropoulos. I just didn't.
Very, very impressive, actually. Okay,
Papadimitropoulos.
Yeah, he co-wrote this thing and directed it.
In the Earth. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say he did a film before this called Suntan that was very well received as well. And, I just thought this was solid and really resonated for me.
Does Suntan have frontal nudity too?
I hope so.
Okay.
In the Earth is the other thing that you actually liked even more. Is that kind of it sounds scary.
It is. It's a folk horror film. That's how they've couched it, like I said. And, it is scary. And
go ahead.
Thought-provoking, that's all.
Oh, that's cool. Thought-provoking is always good. And Bad Trip is the thing that you didn't think you necessarily would like because but you feel like the slapstick and the actually working some of these are they jackass-ish moments that they have in that film?
hidden camera pranks on unsuspecting fools. No, these are lovely people that we're taking to the cleaners here.
Okay, so that's there too. So it's Monday in the Earth and Bad Trip. I'll mention again, I saw that documentary, which I really liked, the WeWorks documentary, which I recommend. It's on a Hulu. WeWorks is a company that blew up in valuation up to $45 billion. And then right before the IPO, all the money was lost essentially in 6 weeks' time. And the WeWork founder is in it, and it's a new Hulu documentary, and I recommend it. So that's my little recommendation as well. Michael, we love reading your stuff. We love your visits. You can read Michael in the Marina Times, and you can follow him on Twitter and on YouTube. He is at Culture Blaster.
Yeah, man, my current coastal commuter column is very appropriate for right now. It's about tax season, so you can check that out at marinatimes.com.
I love it. Well, Michael, have a great weekend, and thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Bye-bye. Bye, guys.